I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, January the 14th, 2015. French Prime Minister Manuel Valls called for the strengthening of anti-terrorism laws in the country following the murders last week in Paris of 17 people. 12 at the Charlie Hebdo magazine headquarters last Wednesday, a young policewoman on Thursday, and 4 Jewish men at the kosher supermarket on Friday. Valls told Parliament yesterday that France is at war against terrorism, jihadism, radicalism. France is not at war against Islam and Muslims, adding, "I don't want Jews in this country to be scared or Muslims to be ashamed of their faith." The French government ordered prosecutors around the country to crack down on hate crimes, anti-Semitism, and glorifying terrorism. France's Justice Ministry also announced that 54 people had been arrested for defending terrorism in the week after the attacks in Paris. Meanwhile, the Yemenite branch of al-Qaeda today claimed responsibility for the Charlie Hebdo attack and praised the 2 terrorists, brothers Saeed and Sharif Kouachi, as heroes. And authorities in Bulgaria said yesterday that they have a French citizen under arrest suspected to have links to Sharif Kouachi. 29-year-old Fritz Joly Joachim was arrested on January the 1st as he tried to cross into Turkey. He is alleged to have links to a terror organization and, according to the Bulgarian regional prosecutor, met with Kouachi several times at the end of December. Over 700 people gathered at Congregation Adas Israel in Washington, D.C. last night in a gathering of solidarity and remembrance with the people of France and its Jewish community, sponsored by the American Jewish Committee. French ambassador to the U.S. Gerard Araud echoed the sentiment of the French Prime Minister, saying, "We are at war against terrorism, against radical Islam." He said journalists and Jews are on the front line of democracy. White House Chief of Staff Dennis McDonough spoke at the gathering as well, saying, "We will not waver in our commitment to defeat the scourge of anti-Semitism." McDonough added, "This is not an issue for any single community or nation to deal with by itself. From the president on down, you have my commitment that we will wage this fight together." 11 cars were vandalized early this morning in an Arab neighborhood in Jerusalem in what is thought to be a price tag attack. Price tag incidents refer to acts of vandalism against Palestinian, Christian, and IDF targets in protest of Israeli government policies and in response to Palestinian terror, carried out by right-wing Jewish extremists. Israel police spokesman Mickey Rosenfeld said the tires of the vehicles were slashed and that anti-Arab graffiti was spray-painted on the hood of one of the cars. Israel police were searching for the perpetrators. United Nations General Assembly will hold its first ever special meeting on the global outbreak of anti-Semitism on January the 22nd. A petition for the informal session was led by the Israeli mission at the UN. It was sent to General Assembly leader Sam Kutesa back in October, with the cooperation of 36 other countries, including the US, Canada, Australia, and all members of the European Union. Israel's ambassador to the UN, Ron Prosor, praised the wide support. He said, "We have a great deal of work to do to move this issue from the headlines to the history books." The Jerusalem Post reports that Jews in South Africa are outraged that the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement plans to bring convicted terrorist Leila Khaled to the country next month for a speaking tour. Khaled, who is now 70, is a former member of the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. She took part in 2 airplane hijackings between 1969 and 1970. South African Chief Rabbi Warren Goldstein told the Post yesterday that by bringing Leila Khaled to South Africa, BDS aligns itself with savage gunmen who murder civilians in Paris, France, with terrorists who send 10-year-old girls to bomb markets in Potchefstroom, Nigeria, and barbarians who butcher school children in Peshawar, Pakistan. Condemnations were also heard from the South African Jewish Board of Deputies. The BDS movement in South Africa sent out an email to its supporters where it referred to Khaled as an icon of the Palestinian struggle and compared her to the late South African President Nelson Mandela. Director of the Simon Wiesenthal Center's Jerusalem branch, Nazi hunter Dr. Ephraim Zuroff, said this issue will be another test of the local Jewish community's ability to influence such issues but it will be a very tough uphill battle. Israel director of the Zionist Organization of America, Jeff Dobb, told the Post that Khaled's invitation showed the BDS movement's, quote, true colors and true goal, the dismantlement of the Jewish state of Israel. And turning now to our programming for tonight, Wednesday, January the 14th, at 8 o'clock, security experts Dan Bloomberg of Ben-Gurion University and Matthew Levitt of the Washington Institute discuss Homeland Security in a Digital Age at a New York Jewish Week event. And then at 9 tonight, Mark Golub sits down with Israeli journalist and author Yossi Melman on L'chaim. That's tonight on JBS and jbstv.org. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, January the 14th, 2015. I'm Teisha Bader. I will be on vacation for the next week and a half. Ron Jacobson will be sitting in. I will be back on January the 26th. See you then.